Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Last time you guys saw us, we were finishing up all the fairing on the boat, and so now we have moved right on to gel coat. So y'all have seen, I believe previously we had mixed a custom gel coat color. It was a light gray with a little bit of black and came up with what I call stealth gray. And we're using one of these little metered mixing cups. And if you look real close, you can actually see little lines in there. They're in cc's. And for this amount of gel coat, about 10-11 cc's is gonna be pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in and mix that nice and easy. Cordless drill works great for this. What we're gonna do is just see how it goes with 10 cc's and we'll adjust accordingly. I always like to put it in a pan as soon as possible, y'all, because it can generate heat when you got it in a container and there's a mass of material there. So it's like if you get it in a pan and spread it out a little bit, it doesn't hold so much heat. All right, this is activated. Here we go. See if you keep up there, Mark.
I'm gonna try.
Once again, y'all, we have already wiped everything down, made sure everything is really nice and dry. We got some good lights. Now this is detail work here. First coat, I like the roller just because there's going to be little pinholes and whatnot, and you can really get in there and get it in nice and tight on the surface. I generally prefer several thin coats of gel coat over trying to just stack it on there. All right, that's pretty exciting, y'all. That is the first true interior gel coat. Yes, we have done some of the little compartments up to this point, but I think that looks pretty sharp. Woohoo! Got some gray. Man, tell me that doesn't look sweet. Working our way right on up around. We're kind of just doing a band on the inside. Got it up underneath the gunnels there. Coming together now. We've made good headway, y'all. We've got the interior pretty much done. Floor is not done. We're going to come back and do the non-skid in another phase, but pretty happy. Walk around the transom there, Logan, and give them a view of the back around the splash well and these little narrow Corona rollers do a surprisingly good job. Can really get in those tight little corners, yet they hold a nice volume of paint. And the yellow flies are eating us up, y'all. If you've never been to the deep south, we have a crazy bug down here called a yellow fly. They're everywhere. They come out at dark, kind of like a deer fly.
But they bite
They
hard.
bite hard. They're unpleasant. Logan's got shorts on. These are bait. We've been letting him be the decoy. He's been fly flip-flops. These are shorts and flip-flops. They're swarming. Show them around your feet, Logan. Show the yellow fly. Logan is losing his mind. He's getting
a dance.
He's getting eaten alive. He's doing the yellow fly shuffle, y'all. The yellow fly shuffle. Gotta really be hustling, man. The weather's hot and this gel coat is kicking. We ended up dropping down to some smaller batches and cutting our catalyst percentage a little bit. Sometimes you gotta do that, just experiment and find what works. Look at this surface there, Logan. Show the folks how nice that looks. Now we're just doing the first coat. We're not trying to pile it on there. We're just trying to get some coverage if you put the gel coat on too heavy, it'll make ripples. It doesn't lay out as nice. So we're right back up there, Logan. We're trying to keep a wet edge on everything as we're moving. You don't want one area to get totally dry and have to wait too long to come back and pick up. Check that out. You guys are looking at one happy fella. We actually went better this afternoon than we thought. Got it all done, all the way around one color. See Mark over there enjoying the fruits of our he's enjoying the fruits of our labor, man. He is happy. Now that is just one coat, but I'm gonna do a walk around for y'all. Just soak it in. We're gonna makes it look like one uniform piece. Been taping off all of our contours all morning long. So last night we finished up with all of our paint work, and we're using some 1-inch wide masking. We're kind of putting it right in the crease of that rail and then about midway over the rolled edge, following it right around. Kind of cool, some cool little detail here to kind of terminate it and run it around. We're gonna be painting non-skid within those borders. That's actually taken a couple hours, y'all, just to do the taping on this thing. And we've been doing some little test batches. We're using an additive from All Grip, that's US Paints. They call that Grip Tex, and that's a coarse and a extra coarse, and we mixed those. We're letting them, inducting them. We went ahead and mixed them in a quart of gel coat, and we did a little test panel there just to kind of see what it looks like. So that's going to kind of be the texture we're coming up with. You see our non-skid texture. We've come over that. We did a base coat, non-skid, and then the gel coat with wax. And then this morning we actually taped off this border right there. I hope y'all can see that break. Put a nice non-skid surface on this whole forward seating area slash casting deck. She is really coming along nice. We're leaving the floor unpainted because we're still all just working on here. We're going to try to get all the apron, all the perimeter done, and then we're going to move to doing the floor. We can kind of, that way, once this is dried on this bow deck and these edges, we can paint down from there and paint our way out. And then Mark is over there mixing, and I'm fixing to climb up inside the console and get this thing painted. So that's the next step. Y'all check out what we've been doing. Logan paneling up there toward the front. She is becoming gray, one color. We're just about to finish up a pan using our little small profile roller. And what we've had to do is paint our way down from the gunnels down to the floor. And we're just getting a base coat, finishing up this batch. So we're doing a base coat of gray, then we're gonna roll the non-skid on tomorrow around the borders. And as soon as that kicks off, we're gonna follow it with another coat of gray with wax in it on that floor. That's gonna give us 3 full coats. Again, y'all can't see, Mark has been over there mixing like crazy. Logan's behind the camera. We got my mom, Miss Joy, over there for moral support. I'm very excited. This boat is just about to be one uniform color. Painting myself into a corner here. Putting it on good and heavy, because this rear deck's gonna see a lot of traffic. Brother Mark mixed exactly the right amount of gel coat there. That's about, it's about perfect. There he is. Look at that.
I said by accident.
The mix master.
A lot of mixing.
Oh me. That's about just exactly the right amount. And of course, like I said, tomorrow we'll put non-skid on out to the borders. We already got the blue tape around the perimeter. non-skid out to those borders, let that cure, and then we'll come back with another really nice heavy coat. Gel coat. But I wanted to show you the mix that we've kind of figured out. Mark has kind of been doing most of the gel coat and mixing, and he's kind of found out that what we're doing is we're using one part of the extra coarse and then one part of just the coarse, and we're mixing those in equal volumes, and we're finding out that Mark had written it all down here, that basically 5 ounces to 32 ounces, and the 5 ounces we're doing by volume. Mark, can you show them that little?
We're just measuring it just like it was a liquid. 5 ounces is right there.
Right. So we're just using a little
measuring it just like it was a liquid with a measuring cup.
Right. So 5 ounces as if it was a liquid, and the coarse and extra coarse is giving us a pretty aggressive non-skid, but this is a commercial charter boat and we want a good aggressive texture. And then what he's doing is he's just measured those out, and then we've already got a gallon of gel coat measured out here in a metered or graduated mixing cup, and he's just about to add. And what we found that works good is to kind of, you want to run the drill and then pour it in.
Yeah, don't just pour it in there all at one time. Just kind of.
There you go.
Mix all that up.
You want to take your time, y'all. You just don't want to dump all of that in there because it'll clump and make a mess. So run your mixing tool, your drill, and then kind of add it in gradually, as you see Mark doing there. And simple as that. Now it does need a little bit of what they call like an induction time. So we're adding that non-skid material and then letting it sit in the gel coat for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then we catalyze it to about 1.25%. And then we're doing it in fairly small batches, like a quart at a time. And then we're using those little small, low profile rollers you guys have seen us using. But that's kind of the process. And you can see, I think it's turned out, I hope you can see, turned out quite nice. So we're using just gray on gray, but we taped it off, bordered it, rolled the non-skid on there, and then transitioned into just a roller finish. And we're fixing to move to the floor. So you can see we've got it bordered all around. We're doing a little bit of light sanding, and we're prepping. So we got our base coat down, rolling on a coat of the non-skid, and then we're coming back over it tomorrow with some gel coat that has the modifier C, the wax additive, added to it. So it sounds complex. It's really, really not, but hopefully that saves you guys some experimentation if you're trying to figure out how to add non-skid into gel coat. There's the floor all painted and prepped. Y'all, we've got the fresh non-skid on that we did last night. I've come back, we pulled the original tape we had it masked with, because sometimes gel coat can be hard to separate, and put a fresh tape line. And we got a table full of gel coat over there getting mixed up. We're fixing to put the last coat on this floor. Thank you, Mark. Mark's over there, he just turned the fans off for us. But we're fixing to put the last coat on. We did the base coat, did the non-skid over it, pulled the tape, retaped, and we're fixing to put gel coat with the modifier C, the wax solution, in there. So this is it, y'all, for the interior, other than a little bit of gel coat inside the console. Pretty exciting stuff. There's our rollers prepped and taped and ready to go. We got a short reach and a long reach, and you guys have seen me do this before. Wrap these in tape and then pull that off, and that pulls any loose fibers that may be on the roller off of there. Makes for a better paint job. We are done rolling the final coat with wax, and Mark is very carefully pulling the masking tape. Just want to be real careful when you're doing that. You don't leave it on there too long. Gel coat is so tough and hard that sometimes it'll make it so that it won't release if you wait till it's kicked. Got to be super careful coming around those.
Yeah, because it's not one piece.
You need help there, brother?
I think I can do it.
It's kind of precarious. There it is.
As far as that one's
beautiful. Nice job. Just got to be super delicate. Everything's curing nicely. I don't know, I hope it shows on the camera, but it's glossy up to here about this point, and this has started to get flat looking. That's where the wax is added into the gel coat. That's what you want. Whew, man, and it is, you can see my shirt, it is starting to feel like summertime down here. We are racing the clock, get this boat done. That's gonna be the last of the interior gel coat. Aside from inside the console, we got a little bit in there. So I'm glad you guys got to see us through that process. Now's a good time too to remind y'all, if you haven't already subscribed, certainly appreciate you hitting that like, subscribe. Feel free to comment if you have a boat question. I will personally respond to every question you guys get and answer it to the best of my ability. Y'all hang tight, got cool stuff coming your way. Look at all that beautiful gel coat. Yep, y'all, you're looking at pretty much finished product. I just stepped up in the boat. We painted the floor yesterday, the last coat of the gel coat that has the wax additive in it on the floor. Got this really nice, it's a fairly aggressive non-skid texture, and we left about 1.5 inch border on all these larger panels here. Now for the charter boat, it might be a little aggressive for your average weekend project boat, but I wanted a really good aggressive non-skid, and this is what we've got, and I'm happy with it. We've got a little bit of masking here where we're still working over the edges, but I wanted to show y'all a materials rundown of everything we've been using. The non-skid we actually used was an all grip. It's called Grip Tex, and we used the extra coarse in equal parts along with the coarse. And we used a little graduated cup here. It was actually 5 ounces by volume to 32 ounces of gel coat. So 5 ounces by volume to 32 ounces of gel coat. Equal parts of the coarse and the extra coarse. And we're using the little Corona Reach It, the little low profile rollers. And then you guys know that little trick where we like to wrap the roller with tape, and that removes some of the loose ends. And of course we're using the Norox 925 along with some of the sanding aid solution. That's a 10% wax solution. And what we did, if you guys like this color we were using, it was a custom mix. We used 6 parts of the 505 gray to 1 part of the black to give us, I'm gonna call this stealth gray, I think is what we're going with on that one. But we're pretty happy with it. Once again there, y'all, there's the overview, and there's Mark. He's been the mix master all through this. Y'all want to see how many batches? Look at all those cups. Mark has been over there. I'm telling y'all, if y'all are painting a bigger boat like this, it's really going to take 2 folks. You need somebody mixing batches just as you're finishing up one batch, have them mixing up another. But y'all, I think this is pretty much the end. We're getting ready to do a tiny bit more touch up in the console, and we're actually going to be installing rub rail this afternoon and maybe some cleats. I'll give y'all a little sneak peek of that. That's pretty exciting stuff. Got the box that she came in along with some fasteners. Nice big heavy duty rub rail going on. But y'all, that's going to be another episode, I do believe. As always, it's Captain Joe here with Island Marine Charters. My brother Mark over there doing a little cleanup. Yep, there, cleats. Fish Pump TV here on YouTube, and we will catch you guys next time out.